Hey everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the top 10 best dragon type pals in Palworld's 1.0 update. This added in some very powerful new pals as well as made some of the others a much stronger, like Orzurk here. With some pals like Sholong able to get almost 7,500 attack here. Now for all of these pals, I'm going to keep it consistent with the same passive skills, the Demon God, Immortality, which gives a 15% attack boost, and Lifesteal to help offset the Twin-Edged Holy Blade, which gives a 50% attack boost minus 30% defense, and we'll go with Muscle Head as well. And all these pals will be Max Trust, Max Condensed, and Awakened here just to show their highest possible potential. And there are 25 total Dragon Pals in Palworld as of its 1.0 update, and I gotta say, pretty much all of them are viable, so I'll be breaking down all the best of them here. First, starting off with some honorable mentions. Now, I quickly want to mention Chillid, which has the second fastest swimming speed in the game, but it's also the only pal that is able to change your attack type to Dragon, which makes it great if you're going against Dark type pals. So Chillid is a very underrated pal, but we just have so many good Dragon types on this list that it is just going to be an honorable mention. I did post a video yesterday using Chillid Ignis here because you can have an Ivy covered team with like the Needle and Needle Knocked, which increases your damage and doubles fire damage, and Chillid Ignis will change your attack type to fire. Two other quick honorable mentions is Xenovator, which increases the damage of the last fired bullet. This is good with like the beam launcher attacker because it has a 3-round magazine. So, I mean, it works on there, but it's the weakest of the Xeno trio. But I'm also going to quickly mention Agidron. I really like Agidron. It has a very respectable attack stat. It's a ground type. However, it doesn't fly, and its partner skill is pretty much useless. Get 80% less damage from explosive attacks, which is something, but every other passive ability here is just that much better. And immunity to stun, which is nice. I wish we could fly on its back. So for our 10th place best dragon type pal, we have Astegon here. Now, this one is an interesting pal because it's dragon and dark type, but it's not the best dragon and dark type. However, it's got one of the craziest skills here with the Black Ankylosar. Increase the damage dealt to ores by 3,300% when it's max condensed, and you obtain 300% more ore when mounted. And one thing to note, this is only regular ore. However, this is one of the best if you want to go mining. Things like Duelith also work really great for just destroying large areas, but he has his own unique skill with Fire Fist, Breath Storm here, Dark Laser being a really good one, and there's also using things like Lightning Strike to clear out areas. But one thing that I really like to use is the Plasma Multi-Cutter when you're on his back, because you're going to get a much quicker clear with these. So you find the weak point on like Sorelight, for example, and you destroy it really quickly, and then you get all the rewards there, 105 Sorelight from that. And here's what the Fire Fist Breath Storm attack looks like. He's got a really cool punching animation, then he finishes off with this fiery attack. Yeah, really cool attack here. And then Dark Laser being another really good one for just clearing out Sorelight. So I'll show you what that looks like here. Just a big blast attack, destroying my foundations. And yeah, he just looks cool too. And honestly, not a bad pal to have at your party, at your base, because he can have at max condensed a 10 mining skill and a 5 in handiwork. But yeah, he mostly just fits into like the ore mining builds, and being able to get 300% more ore is nice, although you get him around level 50, and at that point you don't really need ore that much. However, still a really cool pal. And you can obtain yourself an Astegon at this location here on the map. Next, we have what I consider to be one of the top 3 best mounts in the game, and in a lot of instances, the best mount due to its massive amount of stamina. This is Xenolord here. I don't have this one optimized for its overall speed, but this is a pal that you can get a little bit earlier than Eidrolon and Jetragon, who end up being the best movement pals. Now, its partner skill is not fantastic. Funny enough, this is actually a really good boost to Jetragon because it boosts the partner skills of weapon-wielding pals by 50%. It also has a ride speed boost here, but this will boost up the rockets from Jetragon. However, this pal's mainly just used for like an earlier game like version of Eidrolon in a sense. It'll have higher stamina but lower movement speed than Eidrolon. It's Dark and Dragon type as well. It comes with its own unique skills, Omega Laser and the Cosmic Meteor here. I think this pal is really cool. That is his attack stat there, 6,200, and that's what the setup that I mentioned previously, and he just a gathering skill. And here's what the Cosmic Meteor skill looks like. So he jumps up into the air, turns into an actual star, and then explodes down like that. I think this has some of the coolest animations in the game, and then you can point where you're going to aim it at to explode just like that. And then we also have the Omega Laser, which we can blast away with here. So I'll just use this against the Dazzy Knocked. Another really cool looking animation that just sweeps out in front of the character. This one's better used if you're closer to the ground, but you saw we still took him out. But yeah, Xenolord came in 9th just because it's an amazing movement speed pal, but in terms of damage outputs, there's many others that are just better, and its partner skill isn't like super amazing because Jetragon's rockets aren't as good as being able to shoot your own gun from the back of like an Eidrolon, for example, so 9th place for Xenolord. And in 8th place, we have Sylvestius here. Now, what makes this PAL so good, despite looking more like a horse than an actual PAL, is the fact that it's going to be able to reduce the damage that your shield takes by 80% and reduces the delay by 60% of max condense here. This allows you to get your health, or just survive a lot better. This is a defensive powerhouse while having a respectful attack stat as well. This is more so just slotted in if you find that your shield is breaking off and you want to help reduce that to prevent health damage. But we're mostly looking at the Aegis Charge exclusive skill here, which deploys a shield in front, reducing all types of damage attacks, charges forwards, and crushes the enemy. This is a really cool looking attack. I'll just show you guys what this looks like here. So you pop up an actual shield and you rush forwards with it, and then you keep the shield out. So you can literally just run in with that up, and it gives you a nice defensive boost. So yeah, this is the defensive king in Palworld 1.0. And if you pair this with like immortality, so you get the lifesteal, you're pretty much unkillable. And you can swap out like a Levander to be able to get your health back with your own lifesteal. It's a cool PAL, not very quick. You're likely not going to be mounting this one too often unless you want to use its attacks, but I gotta say, it is a very interesting one with that shield. And you can find a Sylvestius right here in the Faebreak Isles. And to find Xenolord, you have to use a summoning sign and use the tablets to be able to summon him in. But he also appear from like meteorites. And in 7th place, we have the final member of the Xeno trio with Xenoguard. Now, this partner skill is incredible because with the latest update, energy weapons are the best weapons in the game. Now, this PAL is going to boost up the energy weapon attack by 35%, which is a considerable jump in damage, considering you can also throw in Solen for an 80% damage. It also has a respectable attack stat here, 6225, so it is a powerful PAL as well. It only has mining as a skill with 4 working its way up to 8 at max condense here, but it does have some powerful moves. However, it does not have its own exclusive skill, but you use like Comet Strike there for it. Now, Xenoguard is mostly just used on energy weapon style builds, but a 35% increase the overall damage is not small, so I do have to mention it here. And player damage typically ends up being a lot higher than PAL damage, so that's why he ranks a little bit higher, despite, you know, not having the same abilities as some of the others here. But Xenoguard, pure dragon type, it's an interesting one. And this is another PAL that is found with the meteorite events. And here's where the list is starting to get difficult to rank these. In 6th place, we actually have 2 PALs here because I'm going to consider both of these as the same PAL because their effects are very powerful. But what is so good about Jormuntide Ignis is the fact that whenever a target has burn on them, we're going to deal 65% more damage. Pair this with the fact we got Renjishi here who applies burn 6 on your weapon attacks when it's in your party. And then we also have things like Magix who does a special attack whenever there is a target with burn, doing 30% of the damage around your character, as well as Floracle doing an explosion of 60% of the fire damage as well. You got yourself a pretty interesting team set up here when you got the ability to apply burn and have some effects off of that burn. But in all honesty, I did a video on fire builds yesterday. If you're doing a fire build, it's better to go with the needle and needle knock to be able to apply Ivy cover to take double fire damage. Nonetheless, if you want to do a burn style build, Jormuntide Ignis is the best in slot. But that also brings us to Jormuntide, which I think is slightly better despite Jormuntide Ignis. All the Ignis variants have a higher attack stat here, but the thing with Jormuntide is that it combos really well whenever you apply Soaked on an enemy with Ophidia who applies Soaked. And then you can also do things like change your type to electric with Prickster Lux here, dealing additional electric damage against the targets that are now taking double electric damage, and then taking another 65% extra damage. So its ability is extremely powerful, and there's a lot of ways that you can combo Soaked. Like there's even things like Elgrove Crisp, which will turn Soaked into Freeze, and then you have multiple different electric type mounts here, but between these two, they're both really good. Jormuntide Ignis comes with its own unique spell or attack here, Magma Serpent, which charges towards the enemy. I'll show you guys what this looks like here. So another rush style attack that looks really cool, and you got this fiery animation where you slither forwards like that. So yeah, it's a good one on burn setups. And then we also have Jormuntide's exclusive skill, the Slither Slam. Similar concept, but a water style attack. So yeah, with this one, you do the same thing, charge up and then rush forward with water flying out of your PAL, and we got stuck inside a rock. And you can find a Jormuntide right here on the map, and Jormuntide Ignis is actually just right over here into this lava section. Now the tie, it was really close for 6th place and 5th place, but in 5th place we have Blasmat Ryu. Now, this is an interesting skill, so it improves the player's and PAL's dragon type damage to enemy weak points by 40%. not good wording on that. It basically means if there's an enemy that's weak to this, so dark types, they are going to take 40% more dragon type damage, which is a massive buff because you can literally just destroy dark types, which are, in my opinion, dark types are a little bit better than dragon types in most situations, just have more interesting skills. And there's a lot of dark types in this game. So this is a very valuable skill. It also has some cool abilities. It's got Plasma's unique skill with Brawn Impact as it's a fire damage. In my opinion, this is the best type in the game. Fire is the only type that has two advantages against ice and grass, and dragon's good against the best type, in my opinion, again, dark type. So very good typing. We're going to see this one here again, but it also all comes with the Magma Crush attack here, which lets it jump up in the sky. It looks really cool. I love this style of PAL, and yeah, Plasma is a beast. This one also can come with a 10 mining, which normally comes to 7, and an 8 kindling when it's max condensed. And here's what the Brawn Impact skill looks like. So yeah, really cool fire clap, looks like the Hulk. And then we have this one here where you jump up and you get to choose where you fly to. Super sweet a style attack. Yeah, you got a lot of mobility with that when you can dodge with it. Well, he's not a fast mount. This is a great mining pal for at your base. It's a great pal in general for many styles of dragon teams just because of that dragon boost to the damage. So yeah, this is a very good pal, but you can see why it was tough to compare with Yarmantide, who sets up many other builds. This one also sets up a lot of builds, but it is strong on its own too. And for a quick comparison, you can see its attack stat is 5684, which is stronger than Yarmantide, but the same as Yarmantide Ignis. Now, it does have a higher defense stat, and it does bring a bit more to the table in terms of its higher mining skill and boosting up the dragon type attacks by 40%, which, again, if you're doubling damage, getting a 40% boost, it's a lot more than normal. So this is a very good pal for setting things up. Burn is just not as good as like things like Soak, so I think Yarmantide's a little bit better, but Plasma Ryu, very powerful pal. Now we're getting into some, this entire list of top dragons are really good. We got Jet Dragon here. Now, Jet Dragon is good because it's the fastest mount without a whole lot of setup. We'll get to that in a moment when I talk about another pal that's really quick. The only thing is I don't love the aerial missile here. It'll let you do a missile launcher. If you're using Xenolord, he can boost up its damage. Now, it does come with a lot of different attacks. It has Beam Comet here, which is exclusive one. It also gets a lot of fire skills here, so it's got a lot of coverage. It is now much harder to get a Jet Dragon, so that does bring it down a little bit because it is a very, very late game pal. But Jet Dragon's got a very respectable attack stat here of 6,800 with the setup that I have currently going for us, so it's strong. It's also one of the best gatherers in the game, but it is held back, in my opinion, by having to use the rocket launchers on its back. I wish it was an option because like these rockets are fine and all. I think it's a cool thing. Like they look sweet, but they're just not as good when you're going against like raid bosses when you want to use other things here. But it does have its unique skill Beam Comet here, which I'll show you guys here, which is kind of similar to what its rockets are like. Just fires off these homing missiles. So yeah, it's a good pal, honestly. Jet Dragon's amazing. Not my favorite. It is a fast flyer, but the speed of this we'll talk about when we get to some later pals. And next up is Xiaolong, or Shenron, whatever you want to call it. Now, this pal is extremely powerful. The top three in this are a very hard group to rank. It has the highest possible attack for dragons. It has a 7453 here with my setup. Amazing stats here. It also will get its attack increased by 8% for each other dragon type pal in your party. So full dragon pal parties are the best in the game right now. This is also one of the best water types, making it good against fire. And it has 3 exclusive skills. Hydra Charge, which covers body and water. The Celestial Vortex, you know this attack. It's annoying. I guess more annoying to go against, I should say. And Azure Draco Flare, cool name. Basically, it's going to burn targets. So it does a little bit of everything. You do want to have, again, a full dragon party when you're doing this. Pretty fast as a flyer, too. It does run out of stamina relatively quickly, but it looks cool having this super elongated dragon. Here's what Hydra Charge looks like. So you rush forwards, similar to the Yarmantide skill, but with much more range. It's actually kind of crazy. Celestial Vortex, this is the skill that creates a big tornado here. It is crazy. It'll trap pals in it. Whenever you face off against it, it's annoying because it's going to like shoot them up into the air. And yeah, it is powerful. And then Azure Draco Flare here. That's a final attack with a watery fire look. The 3 attacks here are super cool. This is one of the most amazing pals in the game. And you could even rank it number 1. There's a lot of good things going for it, but our other two that we have higher than this, you're going to see why that I rank them a little bit higher. But this, again, could potentially go, like, the top three are just a very powerful group. Which brings us to Orzhok. Now, this PAL has one of the best PAL skills in the entire game. Ferocious Thunder Dragon. When it's in your party, hitting an enemy with a bullet will increase the attack and defense of the PAL fighting alongside you by 5% for 5 seconds. If you have things like the beam scatter, or I guess drone launcher, the drone launcher will count as an attack. Terra Prisma counts as an attack. The combat SMG can dump 50 bullets into an enemy in seconds, making this an insane boost. 150% extra PAL damage and defense. That's massive. This is, again, one of the best skills in the entire game. That's not enough. Electric type is very good because water type's weakness, and there's a lot of good water types, like I just mentioned one, Xiaolong, but also Panthalus, the hard boss that you face off against to get to the world tree. So that makes Polycaranos, its unique skill, very powerful. It also looks really cool. It jumps up and it has like this Zeus lightning. It spears him down. And yeah, it is a beast of a PAL. It does have a really good amount of like electric skills. It also has Kirano here, which is another lightning spear type attack. It does have a lot of lightning attacks, again, which are some of the best in the game. It can learn Thunder Rain. It can learn Thunderstorm. Again, more of the best attacks in the game. Now, its attack stat is about 1,000 less than Xiaolong, but you got to take into consideration that its partner skill is going to boost up its attack damage quite a bit, 150% increase. And that's also applying to its defense there, which makes it just a absolute beast. Now, this is the only dragon that I've shown that I can't actually ride on its back, but I opened up the video with it doing its Thunder Beam attack. It's really cool. So I'll show it off fighting against this Dynamoth. Oh, yeah, just one-shafted. It's strong. It's very strong. And here it is, using its Zeus Lightning Spear. Such a cool attack animation. Yeah, this guy's the GOAT. Just look at him. And that's without me buffing him up by 150%. Absolute beast. And just getting into a fight there, you can see its attack stat is now boosted up to 7790, which does bring it above Xiaolong here. So yeah, this thing is an absolute beast. I wanted to put it in first place, but there's two new PALs called Eidolon and Eidolon Ignis. Now, these are very powerful for a number of reasons. Now, Eidolon gets a buff to its attack and movement speed by 6% for every other dragon or fire type in your party. And likewise, if you have regular Eidolon, it's a dragon or dark type. As mentioned, dark types are some of the best in the game, so you can run Eidolon in a full dark team if you wanted to, and he's going to be buffed up all the way. Or you can run Eidolon Ignis on a dragon and fire hybrid team. They fit onto so many different team compositions because their attack stats are just so high. Now you can see here 6949 for Eidolon, and Eidolon Ignis is a little bit stronger, 7098 with this current setup. They're also one of the best transporting PALs in the game because of their fast movement speed. They fly, they don't get trapped on things. Mimog's a little bit better, but they do have a higher starting transporting skill, so they can carry more of an item at one time. And Eidolon Ignis also comes with the kindling there, whereas Eidolon's just full in on the transporting skill. Now, what also makes Eidolon Ignis great is its moves. It's got Blazing Beam here, which is a dragon type that'll apply a burn on the target. And it also has a very powerful tail slash, which lets it rush forwards. This is great for one-shotting enemies. And it's mostly, again, got a lot of different fire-themed attacks. Eidolon Regular here, same deal. It's got the Blazing Beam, so it can apply burn on targets, which is nice if you wanted to run that burn team with the Yormantide Ignis, and it also has Tail Slash, so very powerful PAL. Both of these are amazing. The big thing though is their movement speed. Now, I did talk about Jet Dragon, which their movement speed compared to Jet Dragon's is interesting. Which is faster? Well, it depends. So Eidolon has more stamina, which I think actually matters quite a bit in this game because Jet Dragon runs out of stamina. Like, he did get a buff to his stamina in 1.0, but not enough to compete with Eidolon. Eidolon has this movement speed boost here, so that is obviously really impactful, but the movement speed boost only applies to their base movement speed. So if you're using a bunch of passive skills, it ends up that Jet Dragon's movement speed will be a slight bit higher. Eidolon will have a better movement speed if you don't have any of the buffs on here because they only apply to his base stat, not the increases 6% for every PAL in your party. So kind of hard to explain, but Jet Dragons will scale a little tiny bit better. Its max movement speed is like 3,400, whereas Eidolon's like 30, like just shy of 3,300 or something like that. So very close, but it's higher stamina, so I think it is actually better in movement speed. And the other one, Xenolore, does have a slower movement speed by a little bit, but it has way more stamina than both of them. But yeah, Eidolon can just do it all. Great attacker, great movement. You can also fly on its back, and you can use your own guns, which I think is a very valuable skill when it moves this quickly, because this isn't even the max speed version that I use for exploring. You can just get in, start blasting away, and get out. So it does a bit of everything. It is a very powerful PAL, and that's why I put Eidrillon is the best dragon type PAL in Palworld's 1.0 update. Let me know your thoughts though in the comments, and let me know what type you'd like to see next for a video like this. I'll be breaking down more of Palworld as I get further into this. Hundreds of hours into the game already though, and loving it, but I just want to do a little bit more testing for the dark types because there's some very hard hitters there and some interesting build compositions. But let me know what kind of Palworld content you guys want to see next. Hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed, and we'll catch you all in the next one.